Hello everyone. I hope that you are enjoying your online sessions. So here let's start our second lesson, that is microorganisms, friend and foe. So now in this session we are going to learn about the microorganisms. Not only the beneficial of that microorganisms but the harmful things that also we are going to learn in this lesson. So first just open your notebook and write the aim and the keywords of this lesson so we can start our main points. Okay, so write the aim of this lesson is to learn advantages and disadvantages of microbes. Microbes means same as microorganisms. Okay, so in this session we are going to learn the advantages and disadvantages, means usefulness and non-usefulness of these microbes of microorganisms. Okay, so write the aim properly in your notebook in good handwriting, and after completing the aim start writing the keywords. In your lessons actually many keywords are there, but I think that many of that you know, so that's why I have given only 8. So that is, first one is algae, next antibiotics, third carrier, 4 communicable diseases, 5 fermentation, 6 pasteurization, 7 pathogen and 8 vaccine. So 8 keywords are there. So start writing that keywords one by one. Write the correct spellings of the keywords. Take your time and complete the aim and the keywords. So I hope that you have completed your aim and the keywords of your lesson. So now we will start our main point. So before we will start our session, first tell me about the living things. If I have give you the one word, I will give you the one word, that is living things. Now tell me about the living things. How many living things are there? What are the living things are there? Can you tell? Now you are in 8th standard, so you have to tell me about the living things. Just think and tell me. What are the living things? Yes, plants and animals are the living things. And what about the microorganisms? Are they living or non-living? Yes, many of the microorganisms are living things. But in these microorganisms, actually one another word is there, that is viruses. So viruses are not living things, so that we will discuss afterwards. But first, whatever the microorganisms are there, that are living things. Okay. Now, what are the microorganisms? See, living things we can see, like plants and animals, we can see that. But some organisms are there that we cannot see with our open eyes. So that small or the smallest organisms are known as microorganisms or microbes that we cannot see. Only with the help of microscope we can see that microbes. And that microorganisms are classified into 4 groups. Like we are living things, but we are in animals, not in plant section or plant group. We are in animal group. Like that, there are further groups of these microorganisms. So first group of the microorganisms is bacteria. Next one is fungi. Third is protozoa and some algae. Not viruses. Viruses are not in microorganisms, because what I have told, that microorganisms are living things but viruses are not involved in living things, so viruses are not, we are considering in microorganisms. So main four microorganisms groups are there, that is bacteria, fungi, protozoa and some algae. So whatever the microorganisms are there, in that microorganisms some are useful, some are not useful. For example, see, sometimes the diseases are caused by this microorganism, like dysentery, you know about dysentery very well, and the malaria are caused by protozoa, whereas the typhoid and tuberculosis, that is TB, are the bacterial diseases, means the typhoid and the TB caused by bacteria. So all this about the introduction of microorganisms, means what are the microorganisms and how many groups in this microorganism. So the organisms which we cannot see with our naked eyes are known as microorganisms or microbes, and they are classified into four groups, that is bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae. Understood the introduction part, that what are the microorganisms and all. So see, I have given here the four groups, that is bacteria, algae, protozoa and fungi. So first let's discuss about the bacteria. So two images are there. So that bacteria are mostly single celled organism. Single celled means what? You know na, that unicellular and multicellular. Yes, unicellular means made up of only one cell and multicellular means made up of many cells. So whatever the bacteria are there, they are made up of single cell. So they are unicellular. And the bacteria are living in colonies. You know that apartments are there, that many peoples are just living together. So like that, see from this image you can see that the first one, that pink color, that spiral bacteria and rod shaped bacteria. So they are living in colonies. Colonies means what? In group. Okay, and there are three shapes of bacteria, but I have got only two images, that is the spiral bacteria. Okay, and that spiral bacterial scientific name is Spirillea, that one word for that shape. And the rod shaped bacteria is there, that are known as bacilli. So that shape is bacilli. So when we are just observing that slide of that particular bacteria in microscope, we are not saying that the rod shaped bacteria. What we have to say, the bacteria are in bacilli. Okay, so that is about the bacteria. Next two images are about the algae, that is Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. So these two are examples of algae that same as a simple plant, that simple plant like structure is there about algae. And most of the algae are aquatic in nature. Now aquatic means what? Can you tell? Aquatic, yes, they are living in water or in moist area. So that's why the algae are aquatic in nature. See the figure 2.2. It can be multicellular or unicellular, means both. Some algae are made up of only one cell, means the unicellular, or some algae are made up of many cells, that are multicellular. And these two are the examples of algae. Next one is about the protozoa. So protozoa, see the examples, that is amoeba and paramecium. So amoeba and paramecium. So amoeba is the most famous example of unicellular organism, means the protozoa examples are there, that both, that is amoeba and paramecium, are made up of only one cell. So protozoa are unicellular microorganisms. And same like algae, these protozoa are also aquatic in nature, means they are also living in water. Next one is about fungi. So if you see that the three images are there, that is a bread mold, then penicillium and aspergillus. So these are the three examples of fungi. So they are plant like organism, but they don't have a chlorophyll, means in the plant chlorophyll is there, so they can make their own food. But in the fungi, they look like in green color, but they are not containing the chlorophyll. So fungi also in unicellular and multicellular nature, means many of the fungi are made up of one cell and many cells, that is unicellular and multicellular. Okay. Next one are the viruses. Now we are just facing that coronavirus problem is there. So that corona is actually a virus which is also microscopic. Microscopic means what? That viruses also we cannot see with our naked eyes. With the help of microscope only we can see that viruses. So that viruses are smaller than any other known cell. Whatever the examples are there we have learned. So from that example the viruses are smaller, and we are not considering the viruses as living things. Okay, viruses are not living things because viruses are very complicated assemblies of molecules that including the proteins, then nucleic acids, lipids, carbohydrates, means many things are present in the viruses, but on their own they cannot do nothing until they enter a living cell. Means viruses cannot do any work without they cannot entering in the, means they are not taking entry in the host cell. So without host cell viruses would not be able to multiply, means viruses want host cell for their growth, like a coronaviruses. We are just always just hearing on the news and all that the persons or that number is always increasing, so that is because of the viruses multiplication. So many the common ailments like cold, influenza, coughs are caused by viruses, means the small diseases are there, means, but some serious diseases are also there like polio, chicken pox, that also caused by viruses, means viruses are very harmful. Okay. And like a multiplication, it can reproduce only inside living bodies, means they need a host, that I have already said that without host cell viruses cannot grow, cannot reproduce itself. So it is a borderline between the living and non-living things, means sometimes they are just showing the characters of living things, sometimes they are showing the characters of non-living things, but they are in between the living and non-living things. So this is all about the introduction of all these microorganisms, that is bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi and viruses. Okay. So if you have any doubt regarding introduction, you can ask in comment box. Okay, these are just general characteristics of the microorganisms. Okay, with the help of textbook or with the help of this slide you can write down your short notes. Okay, so you have to write down the short notes on bacteria, means whatever the microorganisms I have told, that 4 groups: bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa, and one another, that is viruses. So today's homework is that you have to write a short note on these 5. Next point is that where do microorganisms live? Now the microorganisms are there, means we cannot see without microscope. So these microorganisms can live almost everywhere, means from hot temperature to the cold temperature, from desert area to the marshy area, from water, means in water, soil, air, everywhere these microorganisms can live. Some microorganisms are there, they cannot tolerate the cold things, so they are living in hot area. Some microorganisms are there, they cannot tolerate the hot temperature, so they are living in cold area. But it is a fact that all these microorganisms can survive in all kinds of environments, means any kind of temperature, any kind of humidity. Okay, and some animals, some microorganisms are there, they are just living independently, means they do not need a particular host cell. But some microorganisms are there, they need a parasite, means they need a host cell. Means some microorganisms can live without host cell, but some microorganisms required a host cell, so that microorganisms are known as parasites. And what are the host cells? That are the animals and human beings. Yes, in the animals and the human beings also, many microorganisms can live, can survive. So whatever the growth of that microorganisms are there, that depend on the other organisms. Okay, means if the microorganisms are parasites, so their growth, their reproduction, their multiplication is depend upon the host cell. And the microorganisms which they are living independently, so their growth, means the organism just exist freely. So see, some microorganisms like amoeba can live alone. So these are some examples are there. Some organisms can live in colonies and some organisms can live alone, means dependently and independently. So amoeba can live alone, and some fungi and bacteria are there, they cannot live alone, so they are just forming the colonies and they are living in group. So all these about the area where the microorganisms we can found that. Understood? So this is only 2 points are there, we are completing 2 points in this session, because the next point, that is the microorganisms and use, so many points are there that we will learn in the second session. So here we have learned about the characteristics of microorganisms and where do microorganisms live. So the answer is microorganisms can live almost everywhere, means in water, in soil, air, hot to cold temperature, desert to marshy temperature, desert to marshy land. Okay, some microorganisms can live within earth crust also. Some microorganisms can live alone, some microorganisms are living in group. So all these about the where do microorganisms live. So I hope that you have understand all these characteristics of microorganisms, and the next one is where do microorganisms live. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask in comment box. So don't forget to write the short notes on the characteristics of microorganisms. So this is your today's homework, that you have to write characteristics of microorganisms. So in these 2 points, actually 2 activities are there, but you cannot do that activity at home. So when our school will reopen, we will do that activities, that we have to see some slides of microorganism through microscope and we have to observe that. So that we will do afterwards. Still, just complete your short note, okay, and read, try to understand all things. Okay, take care, thank you.